So don't mind the more noise in the background, but basically let's get into it. Guys, I am so pumped for this what if. Or like coming back to this what if and starting it, or like, continuing it like I was going to. But I kind of really forgot about this. And I also really forgot about my invincible what ifs. So guys, at this video, I will be uploading my third video for this week. Technically it's Saturday night because my whole day, my parents and me were like house hunting, so I didn't have enough time. But basically, yeah, after this video, I'm uploading what if Deku had those powers. I already got like the first couple minutes of it already uploaded. Because I uploaded it a couple minutes of it before I came to this what if. Because I uploaded a couple minutes of it in the car. So yeah. Basically, I love this. This is one of my favorite what ifs I've made on my channel, and I'm really thankful for the person that brought this back up for me to continue. So let's get into it, guys. Now, after this video, next week I'll be uploading Invincible and pretty much Invincible and Dragon Prince or Callum what ifs. So if you have a request for a Callum or an Invincible what if, go in the comments. Do some give me some requests, or you can just give me a request for like the next week. So yeah, and also we'll be doing a Halloween special. I will be doing a Halloween special. I'll probably be uploading it on like Monday or something, but it's keeping it and then uploading it on October 31st, or like the day before Halloween. Basically, I'm gonna be uploading what if. You guys decide. I don't know what character I'm gonna make the what if off of. Probably Deku or Invincible, but yeah. Or maybe Deku, but yeah. So if you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. Now last left off, Season 2, Episode 12, where we saw, Ben transform into his new transformation, a blue beetle transformation. Not really a new transformation, more or less just the same transformation that he used like the last couple parts of the series, or this series. Now basically, you'll see Ben go up against and also come across, the green beetle. Now you can switch to the Atlantic Ocean pretty much at the beginning of Season 2, Episode 13, Young Justice. We see pretty much Artemis, or what would be pretty much Artemis undercover, basically, contemplating about how all of this went bad so quickly. Now it gets switched to pretty much Simus, pretty much fixing Aqualad's destroyed mind, and basically, making him better. Now we sketch through all of this, Atlantic or like Aqualad thing, because if you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about. And basically, we get switched to we switch to basically Star Labs, where we see the rest of the team: Impulse, Tim, Blue Beetle, Lagoon Boy, Adam, or I guess the doctor that was helping with the boom tubes, Sir Boy, and Nightwing, Mantis, and the Green Beetle. And we see Ben also there next to Impulse. Pretty much him looking around, being very confused on like how this is all going to go down. Now basically pretty much their talk. Basically before pretty much she's trying to find some information, or pretty much make sure that Green Beetle isn't a threat. Basically, them the conclusion that pretty much McGann is going to go into well um Megan is going to go into Green Beetle's mind, or pretty much his psyche. Basically, it's an intrusion of privacy. I shouldn't. Basically, him saying, "You have my permission." Basically, him doing a creepy smile to the Blue Beetle, suit, and also the Martian. And Martians just don't look good when they smile in their normal, Martian-like form. Basically, it just looking incredibly creepy. Now, basically, Sir Boy says, "I don't like this idea," but basically, Nightwing assures him that we need to know. Now, pretty much Nightwing says, pretty much Miss Martian is our only real option other than Ben. And I already talked to Ben, or I guess Ben wouldn't, want to do this, so I never really asked him. Now, basically, Superboy takes the initiative and asks Ben, or calls out Ben, saying, Ben, you have Martian transformation, right? Basically, Ben saying, yeah, well, what does it have to? Oh, basically, he says, I, I can't. I haven't really trained with my Martian abilities. I have other aliens that can read minds and look through person's psyche, but only time I've been using them is to give people headaches, take them out, or just fight them. But I never really truly tried to find true information out of somebody's head. Now, basically, pretty much Nightwing says, "Can you try?" Basically, Miss Martian saying, "I'll do it." Now, basically, Lagoon Boy tries to comfort Miss Martian to try to push her, or not really push her, just trying to assure her that he gave you permission that you can do this. Now she gets done with the sidekick link with Green Beetle, and she says he's our side. Now I get switched back to pretty much Aqualad, and at that point, Aqualad's whole entire situation has really changed that bit from Ben being there or Ben changing the situation, meaning that Ben isn't really a big part of this whole entire situation. Now it gets switched to basically some sort of hive commercial or some sort of hive commercial. Now we see basically well Green Martian telling or Green pretty much Green Beetle telling them about the hive drink. Now basically they're talking about the hive drink, about how the hive drink is basically made to over centuries make the human race addicted to the hive. So they'll be incapable of rejecting the hive. And basically Robin or Nightwing also brings up the fact that Adam and Flash gave the same analysis. Now, basically, Green Martian or Green Beetle. Probably going to say Green or just Beetle, but mainly just Green. Basically, Green Beetle, tells them about pretty much how the drink is also find a way to track down and box off and target young individuals with the potential to become metahumans. Basically, Grayson's eyes becoming more widened. Basically, him being very confused, but also asking more questions. Basically, him saying that they're trying to harmonize and weaponize the metagene, trying to find young people to become their soldiers. Now, basically, we see Ben not really focusing on their conversation, him just tweaking with the Omnitrix. Now, Beetle asks, can we go public with this whole entire thing, with the hive drink and everything? And pretty much, Nightwing is contemplating about it, but eventually, his answer is basically him not really giving a straight answer. The pit is simple, he just says, in his whole entire conversation of him murmuring to himself, maybe. Now, basically, they try to make up a plan. Now they adjourn the meeting, and we get switched to we basically see Lagan or pretty much what was it? Lagoon Boy asks Megan, "Can we talk in private?" Basically, her saying, "Okay, we can go to my Uncle John's apartment in pretty much that area." I forgot what she said. And basically, they leave, and we see Blue Beetle Green Beetle just transform with his shape-shifting abilities to try to blend in with the humans. And basically, before they leave, the only people that are left is Ben, Impulse, and Blue Beetle, since they're my A team doing this whole entire series. And basically, pretty much Impulse grabs Blue Beetle, pretty much or just comes up behind him and hugs him, basically being kind of just a weird. Now, pretty much Impulse says the night is young. Let's go, bro. Basically, Bink saying, Ben and Blue Beetle saying the night is over. Basically, Ben saying I gotta go back home, and pretty much him going on about how it's just I'm just really tuckered out at this point. Now, basically, as Megan and pretty much what was it, Lagoon Boy show up basically through a boom tube area, like pretty much a call phone, and basically they get move pretty much Lagoon Boy says that I had enough. Basically, him answering that him asking, I have too many questions. Him saying, why have you not returned my calls? Why are you avoiding me? What is going on with you and Connor? Basically, him Basically, well, again, assuring him that it's not what you think, Lagoon Boy. Now, basically, it gets switched to basically Slade and, well, the undercover, pretty much, well, Artemis. Basically, them saying, well, Slade in particular saying, we catch you at an awkward moment, perhaps. Basically, him taking out his sword and them starting to, well, attack each other. Now, basically, as McGann is fighting while undercover, pretty much, Artemis says, I need you to make this kidnapping look believable and good. Basically, her going along with it, or seeing it, basically, them going all out in kind of a fight of some sorts. Basically, now we see that basically Lagoon Boy, he stands no chance against Slade, bro. He is getting mollywopped. I mean, like, straight up folded. I mean, like, he's just getting folded. Like, the put it simply, he ain't winning at all. And we basically see, well, Lagoon Boy get his butt whooped, even though he goes and even though he he uses his powers, he still gets folded. Like, it's no like winning. Like, he literally gets mollywopped in a matter of straight up seconds. I mean seconds. Not even a minute goes by before he gets his butt handed to him. I mean, like, literal seconds, he get his butt handed to him. Like, straight up. Like, it's no talking or anything. He just gets mollywopped. Straight up. Just gets folded. We see Slade jump in right when McGann and Artemis are fighting each other. Basically, him pitting a shocking collar or power inhibitor around McGann's. Pretty much Nick knocking her out and them taking her, well, in custody, or basically them just taking her. Now, basically, we see Black Manta's ship show up, basically them taking him again and them getting out of there. Superboy and Nightwing show up, basically them seeing, well, Lagoon Boy get knocked out on the ground and just seeing fire everything and see him again gone. Now he gets switched to basically Green Beetle in human disguise, and we also see Blue Beetle alongside him just in his scarab form, basically them walking down the street, talking to each other, and them asking about everything that's going on. Basically, them talking the same way as in canon. Now, basically, we get switched to basically, well, pretty much we get switched to basically, well, Ben. Basically, we see Ben pretty much, well, at Plumber's Academy. And basically, we see Ben pretty much where Plumber's Academy would be at this time. Basically, him laying down, basically being very distraught at what was going on at this point. And basically, you see Ben pretty much look around, trying to find out why is he feeling so, well, scared all the time. Basically, him being very scared about how at one point in time the Omnitrix might be taken and the Scarab as well, and they'll be forged together to basically make an ultimate killing machine, pretty much world destroyer, planet, pretty much planet ruling, well, technology. The Omnitrix is already powerful as it is just being. Even if the Omnitrix is broken or exploded or blown up, it can destroy a whole universe. Plus the power of a Scarab, that'll be unfathomable power. Now we get switched to Mantis. We get switched to them again, and Artemis in pretty much Aqualad's mind. Basically them going through the same thing as in canon. Now we get switched to basically Goon Boy getting pretty much taken to a hospital, trying to be stopped before, pretty much Nightwing and Superboy asking about what happened. Lagoon Boy tells them what he tells them in canon. Now basically us getting switched back to basically Ben trying to find out what's going on. Now basically Ben gets a call by, well, Nightwing. Basically Nightwing trying to call Ben since Ben has a lot of skills that can possibly get them to the location of Megan. Now, Ben is at Plumber's Academy, and also he left his phone at home, so he doesn't know, well, anybody's calling him. Now, he gets switched back to McGann and Artemis fighting Aqualad in his mind, and we see Aqualad get restored. Now, basically, McGann as well is basically told to get off, and pretty much we get switched back to, well, the park where pretty much Impulse and Ben show up. Now, as that, began fight with switching back, we also get a flash, well, not really a flashback, just saying, for, purposes. Basically, Impulse does know about the future in Plumber Academy, since plumbers did expose themselves or shell themselves during the whole entire in the future. Shenanigans that happened during the whole entire apocalypse with the Omnitrix and the Scarab being forged into one singular weapon of destruction. Basically, Impulse showing up there with Ben and both of them being in their suits. Basically, Ben just being in his team suit, but not really. Basically, him just being in his normal, you know, fit like that in the Alien Force type of fit. Basically, him showing up in accelerate form and him de-transforming. Now, basically, we get switched to basically Impulse and Ben showing up. Basically, Impulse saying, "Hey, hey, Blue Beetle, your mom said you never." And pretty much before he get stopped, basically he sees that Green Beetle and Blue Beetle are doing something with this. Green Beetle's doing something to pretty much his scarab. Now basically, Impulse stops it, pushing back Blue Green Beetle, trying to stop this. Now Ben's watching from afar, not really knowing what to do. But now basically, as Impulse stops it, basically we get shown that pretty much Blue Beetle says that he's free. The scarab's silent. I'm in control. Now basically, Ben says this is awesome. Basically, him patting Amano on the back, and basically the scarab react to the Omnitrix, but not as bad as it was before. And basically, pretty much Ben says this is great. It's a very good chance that the future will happen. The Omnitrix and the Scarab won't be merged together, and the apocalypse might never happen. Now, basically, Impulse saying, "Wow, this is awesome." And that's where we end off episode 13. And still, in every Young Justice What If I make, I do 2 episodes in one, since most of the episodes are too short for me to just narrate one episode. And the character's probably not even in that episode, so I have to do a second one. So, Runaways, episode 14. Let's get into it. Now we get switched to the beginning of the episode, where we see basically the metahumans that were captured by the reef that are, rescued, or basically are being tested, or pretty much just, more or less just tested and kept surveillance on by pretty much, the scientists trying to see what they can do. Now basically, we get seen after a little bit of a scene training, basically seeing pretty much black light, pretty much like, what was it? Light static shock, but the future static shock, basically saying that I've been at this for 5 hours. Can we get a lunch break? He says take 20 minutes, and basically they're walking down the hallway. You see, basically, one of the future outsiders in, the season 3, but I'm not going to get into that, since, if you're watching this, what if you already seen the Young Justice TV show? You should have, because basically, yeah, so basically, we see that, pretty much he's arguing, asking for a cure, and basically one of the scientist he's talking to is his father. One of his and his father is one of them that have been working on the Theta Beam technology for years of his life. And basically, the metahuman, he's basically, he has some sort of teleportation powers. Basically, him asking about, I want a cure. Basically, him asking over and over. Basically, him saying there's no cure we can find. Now, basically, his father says you have yourself to blame. None of this would happen if you didn't run away. Now, basically, his son would be very distraught, basically saying the same thing I did in Canyon, and that's getting switched a little bit later on, our main character, Ben. Now, basically, we see the metahumans hatch a plan to run away. Basically, them escaping the facility and them getting out there. Now, we see Blue Beetle basically, getting called. Now, basically, we see Blue Beetle getting called by Yayot or Grayson, basically saying, the whole time, him informing him about, the metahumans running away, saying that Ray, one of your friends, and I'm depending on that, to find them and take them back until we can get the reach off world. Now, basically, him saying that Star is the safest place for your friend. Basically, him trying to tell Mono that. Now, Mono says, okay, I'm on it. Basically, him blue beetling out or transforming, flying off, trying to get to his friend. Now, we see him blast off, and basically, as he's flying, he runs into Ben. And Ben is in jet ray form. He's in jet ray form, and he runs into, Mono. Or pretty much was, I think, uh he runs into Jaime, basically them flying around, and basically Blue Beetle saying, "Why are you out here?" Basically him saying, "I'm on the same mission that you were tasked with." Pretty much us getting shown that, well, in this universe, Static Shock basically used to be an old friend of Ben, basically doing, well, pretty much junior high. Now basically you see that Ben was pretty close friends with Static after the years of him, his grandpa and the Omnitrix and everything, him going back to his normal school life, him be having friends and becoming very close with, well, Static. Now basically we see that he was called by, Nightwing for the same reasons, and Static does know that Ben is, well, Ben Tense, and Static does or has seen near the last year there's junior high of Ben showing off his, transformations or the Omnitrix. Now basically you see Static call somebody, but basically him walking back into the building the rest of the pretty much metahumans were camping out on. Basically him having a argument with one of the others, basically them talking. Now eventually they get some, reach drink, basically him saying is nasty, him just zapping it away. Now basically they're camping out there, and as one of them go to sleep, their powers manifest. Basically a scene as some sort of energy being or construct around the person, well, transforms. Basically, one of the kids, Ray, Blue Beetle's friend, basically having some sort of, well, power of some sorts. Basically, a type of, well, kind of like a power of, kind of like the same power that Armor has from the X-Men, universe. You know, if you search up Armor from X-Men, and he could send power like setup or whatever. Basically, him just having some sort of energy, well, armor type of giant, well, transformation on him. Now we see Blue Beetle and actually Jet Ray show up as well. Basically, Blue Beetle getting mollywopped or punched down by the ground by Ray. Basically, pretty much, well, Jet Ray dodging it out the way since he is way faster than Blue Beetle's, well, speed. Now we see Ray grab his meta friends and run off with his transformation or his abilities. And basically we see Blue Beetle and pretty much Ben follow them. Basically Ben saying, "We on it." Now basically them flying after them. Basically Ben saying, I'll catch up to him." And basically pretty much Ray sets them down and de-transforms, basically going back and pretty much putting back his, energy power back into his body. Basically, him saying that was really tuckering and pretty much, really tiring. Now, Blue Beetle shows up alongside Ben, basically Ben de-transforming and him actually being in his, well, pretty much his super suit. We basically see Ben show up, in this type of fit with his mask on. Now, basically, they are both trying to figure out this. Now, Ray questions, Blue Beetle and why he's here, and Blue Beetle shows that he is Jaime's, him showing his true face, but also Ben showing his true face, Static noticing Ben. Basically, Ben saying, what's up, Static?" Now, basically, Static saying, I knew it was you that one day." Now, basically, pretty much, Jaime's and Ben show off that these objects give them their power. Now basically Stag says, "We get it, but you two are flying around free as ever." Basically him saying that, well, we're locked up in Star. Now basically pretty much Ben says, "Static, I know that it is hard." Basically him saying, "You don't know how it is to be treated like some sort of test lab rat." Basically Ben can't really say anything about that since he was just he found the Omnitrix. He earned it, but he was never tested or turned into a lab rat of some sorts. Basically Ben saying, "I know what it is like to be tortured by the Hive. When I was younger, I came across the Hive once. Didn't even know what they were. Basically fighting them. About 13 maybe. I was fighting them, and I wasn't even prepared of what they did. For a short minute, they were able to disable the Omnitrix. I felt powerless, and they were so close to just ending me. But luck, well, I guess I had pretty good luck. And the Omnitrix set back up, saving me. but I do know how it feels like to be at the mercy of somebody that that just torments you. And basically, we get shown that Static doesn't really believe him, saying that you haven't been biologically changed by the hive. You're still human, Ben. Now, basically, Ben saying, no, I'm not. I'm half alien, but I can't really, you know. And basically, Scarab doesn't know about the whole time, how Ben's sisters have alien, but like only women only women that are half alien in his family can access their alien powers. So that's why Ben, has the Omnitrix. Technically, Ben is an alien subject, or like half human, half alien of some sorts. Him just not being able to use or be a tetramite, or I don't even know pretty much what Gwen is. That basically, pretty much Ben says that I'm trying to help you. Me and Hyman's are trying to help you guys. Basically, Ben just looking like this with his, face showing. And basically, he says, pretty much they say we're not going back to Star. Or we're not going back to, well, whoever. Pretty much them saying that we're not going to be tested on. Now, basically, them saying that, well, pretty much them saying, Hymus answering, basically saying, what is the alternative, Ray? You run off until the hive snatches you up again? Basically, well, Sag saying, no, we're going back to my folks' place. And pretty much been saying, so what? So the hive can find them and they can get hurt or killed trying to protect you guys? Basically, Static being kind of, brought back to reality with this, question that Ben brought up. Now basically, well, the Japanese girl asked a question to Jaime. Basically, Jaime's answering in Japanese. Basically, Ray being kind of confused, saying, "You know Japanese?" Basically, Jaime is saying, "No," but the scarab translates. Now, pretty much Blue Beetle gives, and pretty much says pretty much brings up the question, or pretty much gives them opportunity to, well, okay, if you don't want to go back to Star, and you can't go back to your folks' house, Static, I have a friend, Green Beetle. He can help you. He helped me. Basically, them walking off and following Blue Beetle and also Ben. Basically, Ben asking Jaime, why are you taking him the Green Beetle? Basically, Jaime saying he could probably help them as well. Basically, Ben thinking about maybe he could possibly bring him to the Plumber Academy or the Plumber Base, or one of the old plumber, facilities that are just, well, housed out to be kind of a panic room if the planet was ever underway as an alien invasion. And basically, he thinks about that area, but he says that it is under surveillance and everybody, or pretty much it's scanned, so anybody that goes in or out is automatically scanned into the system and knows how much you came in or out of the building. And basically, been just giving that answer, giving that question, pretty much taking that, thought and throwing it away, since that's not really gonna be a good, thing. And basically, they start walking and we get switched off. Basically, we get switched to some sort of, well, pretty much the, boom tube technology or Star, where they get stopped by some sort of evil version of Red Tornado. Now, basically this dude. So basically we see that, well, he starts straight up just trashing the Star base. Basically grabbing one of the scientists and pretty much taking them, basically one of those scientists being, well, Ray's father. Or being one of the, not Ray's father, being one of the, pretty much Runaways' fathers. Or the guy with the teleportation abilities. Now we see Ben and Jaime's walking down the street. Basically Ben pretty much still in his hero costume. Basically him pretty much looking around, seeing that he might bring some attention. So he goes behind a tree that they're near, and pretty much gets undressed, basically pitting his hero costume, and more or less pretty much making his jacket and twisting it up into kind of a pouch or something, and pretty much grabbing it and walking, behind Jaime's, and the rest of the group saying, what's going on, Jaime's? Basically, Jaime's gets a call, and also Ben gets a call shortly after Jaime's call is ended, basically being told that, well, pretty much Volcano, I guess that's what his name is, Volcano is basically, well, I guess pretty much is causing some havoc at the Star Labs facility, and basically pretty much Ben and well, pretty much Ben and Hymes are the only people close or fast enough to get there and stop the situation from escalating. Now, basically, Ben and Hymes get on it, and basically Ben is told by Hymes, maybe you can stay back here and keep them up and keep them, safe. Basically, Ben's saying, nah. Pretty much Grayson would know if I stayed behind, and also he has both of us to go. So basically, Hymes is saying okay, and basically he tries to tell them, but basically they say we already know the volume on your phone, Hymes, is maxed out. Now basically he says that well, just stay put, stay quiet, and I'll be back as fast as I can. And if I can't, I'll send Ben. He's faster than me, anyways. They talk about going back to the area, or back to the star. Basically, one of the kids, the teleportation kid, that his father is, probably in danger. Basically saying, I want to go back. Basically, Static saying, I thought you hated your father. Basically, him saying, only some of the times. Basically, Static saying, I get it. If it was my dad, I would do nothing would stop me from getting to him. And basically, we get pretty much they get all in to just go back there and try to save what was going on, or try to save, well, the day, more or less. Basically, we get switched to when the Runaways get there. They look around, seeing that Star Building doesn't look like any evil robot is, causing havoc or attacking. And we see basically out of nowhere the ground stars rebel, and we see a multi lava Earth Hand basically punch Hymas out of the ground and also throw pretty much. We also not really see. We see pretty much Ben in his jet ray form flying around out of the way of pretty much Volcano's attacks, basically flying out of the way of most of them, but getting hit in the chest, falling down to the ground, and de-transforming into his pretty much owes it into his hero suit with his mask on. Basically, him falling onto the ground, and his hero suit being durable enough to actually withstand the fall, but still being a little bit of bruising. Now he takes out pretty much the tech on his outfit. Ben was throwing pretty much bin style batarangs, pretty much batarangs in the shape of the Omnitrix logo, just incredibly sharpened to a point where it can cut through literal the same amount of, well, literally cut through any type of metal, even so sharp enough that they can kind of, well, bruise or kind of slightly indent or cut the hair of a Kryptonian. Basically, him throwing pretty much, well, straight up, well, pretty much all of his tech, basically most of his tech just being Benton inspired Batman technology that is super teched out and maxed out to full extent. Like pretty much little grenades or smoke bombs that I throw, or pretty much inject any type of, well, gas he wants it, even kryptonite gas. Basically him trying to fight against him, pretty much been dodging out of the way multiple times, trying to wait for the Omnitrix to gain back pretty much functionality, since Molting did put like a very precise blast of pretty much, well, rock and molten lava right into, well, Ben's Omnitrix logo. Now Ben starts dodging more attacks, Batman and Robin style, pretty much flipping and acrobatically just dodging most of the attacks, being trained by multiple other Plumber Academy, users that are very, well, are actually from Gotham, that are half alien, but also mainly are huge fans of Batman and actually have learned a lot about acrobatics. Now, basically, we see and he also uses some tricks that he learned from, Nightwing, that he got taught by Nightwing. Basically, he takes out more, Omnitrix inspired batarangs more and more until he gets hit by more attacks. Now, he gets back up and he transforms into. And basically, we see pretty much Ben step in, pretty much still Wildfire form, and we see also Hymas fighting alongside Ben. But Hymas gets hit with one very exact blast of molten lava, getting blasted down to the ground, onto the ground, and basically Volcano using his powers to basically sink down Hymas into the ground and trapping him into, well, rock. And basically see Ben get pretty much Milo Op, since, Wildfire isn't really a big or very good transformation to go up with somebody that can literally control multi-lava and earth. Now basically he gets stopped, and he get pretty much, well, he gets trapped in a whole type of, well, cage of rock, and also rock slowly, well, forging itself around his body. Basically, him being detransformed, him, losing some of his mass, and him falling into the rock, and the rock slowly enveloping him, taking away his oxygen. Basically, Ben trying to get the Omnitrix, but the Omnitrix not being able to be reached, and Ben slowly running out of oxygen. Now the rest of them run up trying to save James and Ben. Basically, them saying that how are we gonna get him out the ground? Basically, pretty much one of the kids with teleportation power saying I can't teleport where I can't see, and basically Stag says my powers won't be that much use. And basically, pretty much Ray saying I'll get James and Ben out. And basically, now he tells them to follow the robot to make sure no one else gets hurt. We see basically Ray being able to focus himself into, transforming into his, form, and basically saving James and Ben. Basically him mainly just having a quick and easy thing, just flicking Ben's rock, construct, cracking it open, making Ben fall out, and being able to touch the Omnitrix and transform into accelerate, just transforming at random. Now, basically, he looks around, telling James that where are the others. Basically, James saving, pretty much Blue Beetle being out of the rebel. Basically, him saying that they're following the robot to try to find out, or trying to stop it from hurting anybody else. Basically, Ben saying what? Basically, him running after the robot. Now, basically, Ben has very good and very a lot of encounters with evil robots. And basically, he runs after the Runaways, and we see the Runaways run into Volcano. Basically, Volcano finding all of Amazel's parts, trying to assemble him. Now, basically, he looks around trying to find more stuff, basically asking where is it. Now basically he asks what do you want. Now basically he's about to straight up just mark his pretty much one of the Meta's fathers, but the Meta jumps in saving his father, and basically his father is very shocked at why he's here again. And basically he says he says I'm trying to I don't want you to die. Basically they show up trying to stop Volcano, and Volcano's about to, straight up just fold them. Now, the Chinese girl tries to take down Volcano, but she gets easily folded, and Stag tries to jump in, shooting electricity at Volcano, but Volcano pretty much just knocking the snot out of, Stag. Basically, Stag falling down to the ground. Now, we see out of nowhere, basically, Accelerate run in, supercharging, or straight up just bolt blasting Volcano, trying to get him out. Now basically Volcano punches back Ben, and out of nowhere we see Ray with his whole entire transformation or his power to grab pretty much Volcano, throwing him up into the ground, throwing him up into the air, and basically seeing Blue Beetle jump in and shooting pretty much Volcano down to the ground. But we see Volcano get up from the rubble, not having a single scratch on him. He uses his powers to penetrate pretty much rock pretty much all around, pretty much making rock spears go through pretty much raise pretty much energy stuff. Basically, it being able to actually, Ray being able to actually, straight up feel the pain that his transformation feels. Basically, him having the sensation of something going through his chest or stabbing him in the chest. He passes out, and basically Static saves him from falling down to the ground. But we see pretty much Blue Beetle go toe to toe with Volcano trying to stop him. Now we see Volcano basically go toe to toe, and we see James using a lot of power unsavoringly, pretty much it having effects on the building behind me. James fighting and shooting multiple blasts, or pretty much his sound blast, towards pretty much Volcano, basically saying that, Stag trying to stop him, saying that you're making way too much damage to the building behind you, you're gonna make it collapse or something, that you're turning on the power. Now basically we see Ben look at the building behind him, seeing that it's about to, it's going down, or it's not going down, but it's getting worse. And the the building isn't gonna take much pressure from Jaime's unsavory attacks on the villain. Now basically he runs after, or runs in between the sound blast behind Volcano, and transforms into a humongous sword, and hiding his size, basically grabbing Volcano, and throwing him down to the ground, punching him over and over and over and over, making huge craters in the ground. It also messing with the integrity of the building. Basically, him punching the volcano over and over, trying to destroy the machine. Basically, volcano getting sunken deeper into the ground over punch after punch after punch. The volcano gaining his consciousness or gaining more of his power, pretty much shooting multiple blasts or multiple spears of rock, hitting Humongosaur all around the place, also stabbing Humongosaur in multiple parts of the body, like his pretty much calves and his thighs, and also parts of his arm. Basically, him getting cut and bruised, and him transforming, seeing Ben fall down to the ground, about to be impaled by a rock spear. Basically, volcano watching, anticipating, pretty much watching, anticipating, or very very excited, trying to see if Ben's gonna die. Basically, pretty much Jaime is using a little bit of his speed to basically pretty much make huge rocket boosters on his calves, basically boosting him forwards towards Ben, grabbing him and getting him out the way of the attack. And basically Ben looks around, saying that was close. Basically, a scene stopped shortly, and we see Ben get stabbed in the chest, and we see him start to cough out blood. Now, the music instantly changes to some sort of dark and gritty, and we see Ben pretty much get stabbed by a cheap shot from Volcano. Basically, Ben falling down to the ground, coughing up blood. Now, basically, Jaime is saying, "You're gonna be okay. You just stay on." Basically, him seeing that Ben loses a life, and basically, before Ben can say what he was gonna say, Jaime is filled with anger, pain, and anguish, and has the full intent to kill Volcano. And basically, he goes all out. Basically, him showing off the apocalyptic rage that the Blue Beetle has in the future. Him charging straight for Volcano, grabbing him by the head, and throwing everything he has at him, not holding back a single thing. Fighting like the scarab with the intent to kill, not even caring about anybody around him. Shooting blasts, pretty much multiple blasts of energy cuts, making weapons. Starts shooting multiple blasts of energy, and just having pure disregard to anything around him, destroying buildings. I mean, like shooting blasts of energy clean through parts of Star Building, throwing him through Star's building over and over, just actually really trying to kill Volcano. Now, basically, we see Static Shock trying to stop Hymes, since Hymes is going all out. But Static Shock doesn't really want to stop him, since he wants to see Volcano die. Now, basically, he does see that the Chinese girl, or the Japanese metahuman, using her powers to try to save everybody in the building. And basically, before she goes, she talks a little bit with the father of one of the metas, but she goes back into the building and try to save everybody else. You see another one of the metas trying to save more soldiers and other people, and basically them going all around saying, "You gotta get out there now." Now, Static saves one of the soldiers and basically tells them to get up and let's go. Basically, them saving most of the people out of the building as the building's falling down from Blue Beetle's attacks. And basically, Blue Beetle flying through the building over and over, trying to just completely destroy, Volcano. Now, basically, as this is going on, we see Static right next to Ben, basically trying to tell Ben to don't, give up, don't die on me. Basically, Ben coughs up more blood before he really dies, and he says, Project X. Basically, us seeing the Omnitrix started to, change. Now we see pretty much Stag Shock fly away from Ben, basically him being asked by his friends to come over here. Now we see pretty much them get out of the way of, the stuff that's happening, and pretty much we see Volcano try to stop them by, making rock-like hands to stop them in the state. Now we pretty much go back to the fight between Volcano and Blue Beetle, and Blue Beetle was going all out on Volcano, not even fighting like he did in canon, but actually trying to kill him. I mean, disintegrate him. Now we see him make some indent on Volcano's body, and basically we see him take him out the same fashion that he did originally, basically destroying volcano from the inside out. Now basically, he pretty much after volcano's body's like it remains and his head's on the ground, he stomps it out, not even having disregard for that. Now basically, we get switched to basically Ben, and we pretty much see Blue Beetle looking around, and we see Blue Beetle look down on his friend having tears in his eyes. Now, Blue Beetle full of anger saying we need to go now, Ty. Basically, before the pretty much when the news reporters come up, they try to ask Blue Beetle, who are you? Blah blah blah. It switched to Blue Beetle actually going back to the scarabs. Basically, him saying that I was trying to I should have informed you right away when I got the humans, or I found the metahumans. Now we get shown that James wasn't cured. That Green Beetle morphed James' scarab to take control over James inside of the scarab, or pretty much take control over James. Now basically, it gets shown that Black Beetle, Green Beetle, and Blue Beetle are all together. Basically, him saying that the robot, was supposed to take you down. Basically, Blue Beetle says that the human inside is feeling a very certain way, and he filled my rage to take down the star robot even more, making me actually more stronger. His rage helped me. Basically, him saying that he was filled with rage, guilt, more or less suffering. And basically we see that pretty much they say we had to control the natives of this planet, gain their trust, and help them on our path for the reach in the takeover of this world. Now basically, we get switched to Ben, and we see Ben on the ground, basically Project X in effect. We see Ben pretty much grabbing the last piece of life he has. Pretty much right when the metahumans left, we saw Static look at Ben, but basically them saying Ben's gone. Let's go. There's nothing we can do to save him. Now we see Ben a couple hours later, after no one has actually found his body yet, since he was already back down like in the deep forest near Star Labs. Basically, he opens his eyes, seeing that the wound in his chest is just there. It's just a red bruise there, and he looks around, seeing that his body transforms back to human. Him seeing parts of his body in alien form, basically him de-transforming. Now, Project X was pretty much a system set in place for Ben and also made from Ben. Basically, it used multiple different alien transformations. Basically, it using the alien transformations healing process. Their pretty much how they would heal, how long they heal, and how long they live, their process through life, and just how they absorb energy or just take on stab wounds and stuff like that. Basically, just taking alien DNA from multiple different planets and merging it together to make a certain type of cure to near death. Basically, making sure that in case of any type of near death situation, Ben can always just call on Project X to basically bring him back from the brink of death. Now, basically, this is kind of what happened during the whole time, like that time Ben completely absorbed like the force of a whole Big Bang, kind of like what happened in Omniverse, but just for him using it to morph his body to shapeshift and live. Mainly most of it taking DNA from Martians and multiple other creatures that can shapeshift and heal pretty quickly, basically using it to save him. Now Ben wakes up pretty much walking around, and basically him walking off. Now basically we see pretty much Ben walk back to his house, and we see him pass out on the ground, basically him being really tired because it does drain a lot of energy from him for his alien the Omnitrix to bring him back to life, and he has to sleep for a couple hours for him to come back to halfway mental capacity. Now basically we see him fall and sleep on the ground in his room, and we get switched off there. Now before that happens, basically we see that Lex Luthor pretty much catches or pretty much picks up the 4 metahumans: Static, Ray, and the two others. Now, basically, we see them get taken by Lex, and that's where we truly end off the episode. Now, I hope you guys liked part 6, and part 6 was way overdue. Now, after this video, I will be uploading What If Deku was Magneto or had Magneto's powers, and I also this weekend, since it's technically the weekend, but I'm uploading videos that I should have uploaded this week. Basically, I'm gonna be uploading tomorrow. I'm gonna be uploading What If Deku. I'm gonna be uploading. I'm gonna be uploading What If Deku. No, not that. What was it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be uploading I'm gonna be uploading What If Irma had the Omnitrix. I made that What If a couple months back, and I'm gonna continue it. What If Irma had the Omnitrix Part 2, and I also will be making so yeah, I'll be uploading What If Irma had the Omnitrix this weekend, or I also was the next couple weeks, next weekends. I will try to be uploading. Yeah, What If Irma had the Omnitrix probably tomorrow. Also, What If What If Irma had the Omnitrix Part 2. Also, What If Invincible was in. What if Shazam was in Invincible Part, I think 3 or 4. And also, I'm gonna be uploading a pretty much what was it? What was it? I think that's it. So I'm probably gonna be uploading those two this Sunday, or probably not at all, but next weekend, because I'm probably gonna have not that much enthusiasm when I get to pretty much the rest of my recording for my What If Deku with Magneto. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day.